Greetings, everyone. You might ask yourself the question, why does she post these pictures of herself? You might think it's about you, but it's not. These pictures are a reminder to myself of where I have been. Now, I'm the type of person, when I'm going through the worst, I do the best to make sure that my external doesn't reflect what I'm really going through. So when I'm looking real pretty, or I make the attempts to use the outside to camouflage what's going on the inside, these pictures are a good example of that. That's not to say that every time I show up and I'm feeling so good about myself, it doesn't mean that I'm going through trauma. But what it really means for me is that I don't allow what I'm going through to reflect on the outside in such a way that I gain pity or I cause people to feel, people are going to feel whatever they want to feel. It doesn't even matter at this point. In this video, I'm going to talk to some big women and some big men. I'm going to talk to some individuals who are young too, to say that you have to be wise in how you manage your blessing. Okay, we spend so much time praying and fasting and pleading and cussing and moaning and groaning about not getting our breakthrough. And oftentimes, when we get these breakthroughs, we throw them away and then we go back to the source and say, what about me? You said I should do this, that, and the other. No, God never told you any such thing. First of all, money does not belong to the creator. The energies do not control money. Money is man-made. That's why if you are religious, you will hear that you give to Caesar what is due to Caesar. And so when you have these individuals running around, and Caroline, I haven't forgotten that video you sent me. I just don't want to deal with it right now. But you see women in churches running up to their pastor and throwing money all over them. A lot of these women, if you look at them, they're older women. A lot of these women have had bad experiences in relationship and now they turn to God. God is now their husband. They expect God to come and rescue them when oftentimes we are given the power to deliver ourselves and not depend on some entity outside of ourselves to rescue us. We continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. Let me give you specifics. You work hard. You live in some terrible places. Go through some terrible things. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Terrible things happen to good people. Struggles are everywhere. I cannot stand Jamaican people. And I'm going to include myself. I can't stand individuals who live and with the trauma and the problems and the stress and the struggles, they manage to send a message to people home that all is good and that when their problem comes, it trumps your own. And today I am going to speak to you. And if I'm talking to you, say something to me so I know I'm not wasting my time. Big woman and big man, but particular women, because we often as women, we are caretakers. And as caretakers, we want to make sure everybody is okay, even when we're not okay. And for us, many of us don't know love. So we want to buy love. We think that when we give people our last, it's going to make them love us. And it is not the will or the intention of the great spirits for us to become this burden bearer. If you are blessed to the point where you have surplus and you want to share that, that is a personal decision. But if you are going to take people's credit card and max out your credit card to take care of other person's need, you're being very irresponsible. And you definitely is someone who has trauma, because the reason why you're doing that is because you're trying to get love. And in the process of trying to get love, you're sinking yourself in this horrible situation. And I'm talking to the ones at the back. And I have moved myself to the front because I cannot miss this message anymore. If you're going to your overdraft to take money out to give to I don't care who, then you shouldn't be doing it because you don't have it. When someone picks up the phone and tell you that they have to go so this place or that place, and that you are the one who is supposed to go and borrow money, which I have done, put up my hand, borrow money. I have borrowed money from people, and they said, well, I don't have the cash now, so I have to take it off my credit card, and I am going to charge your daily interest until you pay me back. And I hear that because I had so much things going on. I couldn't take from my reserve. So I borrowed it and literally pay, like if I borrowed $500 by the end of the week, interest brought me up to 1,000 to give to people. Is it their fault? No, it's not their fault, it's mine. Because at that point, I was telling myself that I can get milk out of stone. I did that for the longest while. So when I complain and I whine, I can't even go to the source to say, oh, you didn't bless me, because I was blessed and I gave it away. You are blessed and you're giving it away. And now some of you are at that point when you're literally, it's too late for you to have learned that lesson, because now you are seeing with your physical eyes that the ones you dedicated your life to and service and your last, these people didn't even like you. They only saw you as a means to an end. Can I speak for somebody who needs to listen? Stop it, big woman. You're ready, almost ready to retire, and you've had your home for 20 years, and now you're about to lose your home because of people who you send how many barrels to, and people whose mama and their grandmother and their great grandmother died, and you told yourself that you're this burden bearer, because we carry this with us as women. We feel so good and so enamored, with ourselves, to show that we can take care of everybody else's problem. We're the matriarch. The matriarch what? And at the end of the day, many of these matriarchs drop dead from stress, from heartbreak. And speaking of heartbreak, a lot of our women, as an older woman, of course we want companionship. Of course we want to be in a relationship. But at a relationship that's going to destroy you mentally, physically, and financially, all the stories you're hearing, you meet up some young boy who's never worked a day in his life. Okay, I don't care about his age. That's not the problem. The problem is this lazy man with his lying tongue always coming to you. Oh, my car broke down. Oh, I have a toothache. Oh, I got to remove my teeth. Oh, I have to go, to the doctor. Oh, my grandfather. And we really let these con artists, these thieves, these liars sit their ass in warm Jamaica, reach out to you and tell you these stories, and it is your problem. How is that your problem? In 2024, we're going to clean up our acts. Those of us who they put obia on, take our money and bind us to them, we got to break it. Okay? Because it's clear that some of these people have some spells on you, and your money cannot stay in your pocket, you torment. And that this is your enemy. This one, you clearly see. Some of you have plans to move back home. Just even if you don't go, why don't you just go for a month and pretend that you're there and you ain't got no money? If you have a difficult time saying no, you'll learn how to. Why don't you call and tell them your problems? Because once you tell them your problems, you are going to hear that if it is so terrible where you're at, why you're there. You cannot continue to do this as an older woman. You cannot continue to do it. You cannot continue to feel sorry for other people and not feel sorry for yourself. You're busy running here and there, borrowing from this place and borrowing from this, third party, scoundrels that will see your vulnerability in terms of your finance, and they will lend you money knowing very well that you will not be able to pay it back because you're already sinking in debt. Some of you are holding on to homes that you can't afford, and it's not about just wanting to sacrifice. You have every corner you turn, you're blocked in. Get rid of the house. It's better to get rid of it clear cut and you have no money in the bank than get rid of it at a time when you actually owe money to the bank. You're embarrassed because of your financial situation. Well, listen, you made poor choices and there's a consequence for doing that, and you do it out of good heart. Listen, even our children, when they're adults, we give them the wings to fly. I have said it before. When they get to a certain part, they must take on responsibilities. You can't have your 30-year-old, your 29-year-old living off of you, and you're trying to prove that you're a great mom. You're a terrible mom when you allow your children who are strong and healthy, who you've put through school, you've made sure that they have no debts, and they're still living in your house for free. Not my house. My daughters cannot live in my house for free, and I'm not charging them something enough money for me to sink myself into poverty. I will not. And it hurts my heart just to say that, because I'm not doing that for my children now, but I was doing it for other people. But I don't want them to get to the place when I'm not here, they can't take care of themselves. I don't want to leave them with this mindset where, I'm entitled to these things. And yes, generational wealth is great to create. But in the meantime, we all know that some of us were not in the position to create generational wealth. So the best we can do is educate our kids, and we can show them the way. While we are live, we can say, here, take your $10 or your $5 every week that you use for coffee and put it in this jar. And when it gets to a certain amount, buy this product and sell it and then get some money. You can create this thing and stop just thinking about getting a degree. Because many of our children, many of us have degrees, and it did not help us. So not to say education is not important, but how is this helping us? Education doesn't just come from books. It comes from lived experiences. And if you're going to repeat the same pattern over and over again and dig yourself a grave, an early grave, or one where you leave this world feeling so bitter, I'm going to ask you to stop. Stop. Remember, there's some people, they are like a bottomless well. They cannot be filled. And a lot of persons, when you have sacrificed yourself, you lay down on the ground like a carpet and let them run all over you. Listen, when you get to the point in where you say no, or you say stop, these ones become your enemy. But you best believe that they'll give enough time to pass, and they'll resurface. And when they return the second time, to do you in. So when you're thinking, oh, they need me, nobody needs you. As I posted in my community thing, they need your money. They want to use you. How do you feel when you know people are using you? You get angry, you get resentful. People will find their way out. We have to allow persons to find their way out of situation. It is the intention of the universe to let people walk through certain paths to find themselves. When we become superhero and try to rescue these ones, no wonder they hate and resent you. Now, there are circumstances when there are people going through stuff and we help. There's nothing wrong with that, but only when you're in a position to help. So if someone reach out and their situation is dire, it is very easy for you to say, oh my gosh, that's awful. Even though yours is not better, you go out and you put yourself in a situation to help the person. And guess what? Once they have freed themselves, you're left with the burden. So even in listening to people's problems, you have to be careful about how you go about doing that. Because there are certain individuals in my life, I will be there for them morning, noon, or night, or any time. But it's not a door that's open to everybody. There are few persons that can call me anytime and talk about whatever it is that they're dealing with. Because guess what? They have proven that I can do the same. A lot of us know that the people that we take on their problems, they will never be there for us. They'll never find time for us. Stop it now. I will accept your gifts only if you're in a position to share without feeling the loss. I don't want anybody sacrificing anything for me. I don't want a gift from you. I don't want any present from you if you're going through hardship. Listen, suffering does something to one's mind. Some of the fiercest, rankest people on this world are people in poverty. So remember, when you give to these ones, don't think that they are going to have any special feelings for you, and they're going to sit on their words. They're going to tell you where to go. Not because you help them doesn't mean that they're going to spare your feelings. Okay, so if you give to me and I say thank you and God bless you, I might hold my tongue. But I can't promise you, because if you come to disrespect me because you gave, maybe I'm going to be rude to you. And so expect these ones that you're making these ultimate sacrifices for to put you in your place when they no longer need you. If that helps you to say no, and if you say no and everybody disappears, so be the case. Start running the program. Start testing these ones. Start telling them that you're sick, that you're broke. Start telling them that you're homeless. Start telling them these things, and then you see for yourself. When you see, then you have the ability to say no. That's the only time you'll know, when you see, come face to face to see how these ones are. Stay blessed, everyone.